from my perspective, a lot of this was what much of life really is, was a joyous, pleasant, fortuitous accident. Was mostly a matter of being responsive to something that hit me upside the head. Our journey with this began with a letter from Chris Coble at the Lilly Endowment in Indianapolis saying that through some mysterious process, and I still don't understand how this worked, we had been identified as a congregation that would have some potential to host a transition into ministry program such as they were doing in a variety of manifestations around the country. And I remember I read the letter, which is not a given, by the way, but I read that letter and I thought, wow, that would be a lot of work. And the need was very clear. The burnout of young pastors was something, when people began to talk about that, it was something that always tugged at my heart. But I still was overwhelmed by the magnitude of what this might require of us. We went to Indianapolis, we heard the pitch, and there was this voice that kept saying to me, well, gee, this is great and it's really worth doing, but I think it ought to be done very differently from what any of these other folks are doing. And little did I realize that was exactly what Lilly was looking for. They're looking for lots of different models about how to do this, and also lots of different models about how to sustain it. So it was very quickly evident to me that if we were going to do this, the best way to do it would be to have an emphasis on pastoral formation. How can and will God uniquely use even me to do this precious work? How do I deal with the sense of both being compelled but also the fear and trembling I have about doing this? That this is such a scary thing I can't say no to. I get teary just talking about this, but it is an immense privilege to see God working in the lives of each of these people so differently. And you see them, there's kind of a before and after with their going away and their coming back. But you see that work continues in such a rich way. And that we don't do this, we don't make this happen, but we just try to create the conditions under which it can happen. Something I want us all to think about today. We were chosen to do this because somebody recognized our potential impact on an issue that was of grave concern in the church. The ministerial burnout within the first 5 years had really reached crisis proportion and required some kind of a response. And no doubt books were written and there were symposia and seminaries, but Lilly thought, no, that where this really needs a response is at the level of congregations. There needs to be a way, many different ways, to help ease this transition. Somebody else from the outside saw us and said, this is a place that has the potential to do this. Do you understand that with potential comes responsibility? With giftedness comes the responsibility to share these gifts with the greater church. And who gets to do this? Not very many places could even consider getting to do this. And you see the impact that it has. You see it. And the ripple effect from this is going to continue. It's going to go on and on and on and on and on. I think Plymouth Church not only can be, but should be and must be a key player in those conversations. And I say that not out of some sense of hubris about this congregation, but trying to look at it with some sense of objectivity and saying, friends, we have the resources, we have the right core values, we're in a place, a part of the country in which cultural lag sees to it that the church is still an important institution. We really, really, really ought to be about this work on an ongoing basis. We have dipped our toe in outreach with this through the TiM Iowa program, but that's only just a beginning. We have the presence of the TiM program has helped us grow this congregation younger. Have you noticed that the new members are trending younger? Part of the reason that they're trending younger is that now for 8 years, 9 years, the number of young faces standing in front of them suggests to them, oh, this is a place where people like me are not only welcomed into the pews, but welcomed into positions of leadership. I mean, how do most of us experience our call by seeing somebody, identifying with that person, and saying, I could do that. I think I could do that. Someday I want to be like that. We have people like that in our lives. The congregation sees itself as part of a teaching process. I hope you understand how scary this is. Everything you do teaches about church. Everything you do teaches about church. And that's good because that's how we get real about what the church is and can be. But you are all teachers. And the various ways in which you teach get analyzed on an ongoing basis. And that is, my friends, an honor. And the fact that this is a healthy congregation full of crazy people, sure, but a healthy congregation that really wants to try to do the right and faithful thing, that is as powerful a teaching element as anything I could mention. Okay, so going forward, the need in the church will be greater than ever for centers of vitality like Plymouth, a place that has not only an illustrious past, but a really, really, really shining future. This is one of the ways we need to think about our commitment to the wider church, and not just the United Church of Christ, but the church and the whole society. And in thinking about that, we are getting past the point of living on Lily's dime. Their goal, to begin with, was very transparent. We want to get you addicted to this. We want to get you so engaged with this ministry that you can't see yourself not doing it. And they're pretty good at what they do. So the question becomes, where do we go from here? And what would be the next steps in moving from where we are over a period of quite a few years to a new way of doing this that would be sustainable for us, a way that calls us to have some skin in the game on an ongoing basis. It's one thing to say, oh, gee, it's great to have all of these people around, and never really confront the issue of where they come from. But where they come from is going to have to begin to change if we take that on for ourselves. So this is not something that, this is something that you need to work through as an issue of calling. Is this truly a part of our God-given vocation in the years ahead of us? if it isn't, then we have no business continuing with it. But if it is, then we have no business not continuing with it. This has been one of the great privileges of my ministry and my life to be involved with. It just, to my beloved colleagues, I thank you, and I thank God for you.